Well, here's the site of the Mount Murray Hotel today. It's 100 days exactly since that shock announcement was made that the Mount Murray was to close for the final time. This is after, of course, it reopened after the fire, but 30 people, around that anyway, lost their jobs on that day when the Mount Murray closed. And as you can see, it's still very much as it was left all that time ago. With me is the former managing director of the group, Brian Stoll, no longer involved though.
No, I'm completely out of it now. So if you're going to ask me any questions about its future, then that'll be conjecture, you know, because I really have very little more information than you have, Paul. I've been out of it now since August of last year. And it's of great sadness to see it in the state that it's in. The closure was, to my mind, you know, a difficult decision that perhaps should have been revisited. I didn't agree with that, and it's sad to see it in the state that it's in.
What can you tell us about this? I mean, obviously, you know, got to be careful, but I mean, was it likely to be rebuilt? I mean, was that the plan? I mean, I know it's gone on hold now, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, make no mistake, from the day of the fire, you know, as far as I was concerned and the board of directors, we were all, you know, 100% getting behind it and reopening it. And I don't know what changed or why the reasons behind it changed. Obviously, this is a great sadness to me because it's a great chunk of my life. From the original concept, I actually came here and put the level pegs in before there was anything here. We were in fields. I brought the sheep off this land. And to see it in the state that it's in at the moment really is upsetting for me. It's a disaster for the island's economy. And it'll knock on effect to other island hotels because, you know, make no mistake, this really had and still has the potential to improve the island's fortune as a holiday, conference, golfing resort.
Now, we shot a video, which actually has never been out in full, looking around the complex after the fire, but showing the workings, which is it's a major bit of operation, you know, the heating and all that system that's going in for the pool and so on. This was part of the reason, wasn't it, that it was too expensive? The gas prices and so on was brought up as a disincentive, should we say, to keep going.
Yeah, I've actually been approached by one individual. Apparently there have been several people that have expressed interest in operating the hotel. One of them, one and a not so serious one, have approached me because of my knowledge of the technical side of the hotel and of the business. Whilst the hotel is in this state, it's never going to be able to break even. But certainly it has the potential to be a marvellous money earner. There's no doubt about that. But unfortunately, the management structure that has prevailed for the last 20 years has not perhaps given it the ability to be as profitable as it might otherwise have been, let me put it that way.
For you especially, I can see you're choosing your words very carefully, and I understand why.
I don't want to be insulting to anybody at all, but I mean, Derwent Group as a whole are not hoteliers, and it would have been a lot better if they hadn't have had such an influence over the management. And of course, the Isle of Man requires an Isle of Man manager. We've had a succession of managers here that have come from far afield, well-experienced people, but the Isle of Man requires somebody who knows the island inside out. Okay,
well, by now, if the fire hadn't taken place, there could have potentially been a casino licence in operation. Is that I'm correct in saying that, wasn't there? I mean, it could have expanded, and there was also talk about putting more rooms on it and so on.
Oh, yeah, we've got plans. I've still got drawings for all of the potential that could have been here. But, of course, I was instrumental in that back in 2006. I mean, we were dealing with Adrian Earnshaw as Minister of Tourism. I dealt with 4 different ministers with wheels spinning and getting nowhere for a long time. So that's a bit of bitterness as well. I mean, government didn't have to spend any money, but they could have assisted and could have got behind it. But, of course, Mr. Dubey's legacy isn't one of harmony, perhaps, at times, and a lot of people were frightened to to actually allow themselves to be associated with it, or to even get behind it, really.
Can I ask you, I mean, you two are great friends and everything, but you're no longer in business at all together?
No, Mr. Dubey is now not so well. He's over in the UK. My son and I went to see him a couple of weeks ago. We're still very good friends, but I'm not associated with any of the businesses now at all. So,
what's your feelings now on the future here?
Well, I'll underline the fact that I have no inside information. One of the potential buyers has spoken to me. He wanted to know about the technical side and a little bit about the business. He hasn't come back for a little while. I don't know how many others are out there expressing interest. The one thing that I am concerned about, the island doesn't have a great history of reopening hotels. We can list so many that have closed temporarily and never reopened, that it's just frightening.
I mean, something's got to be done. Either, I mean, obviously they pull a whole lot down and start again, or they repair what is there. Of those two options, which is your view?
Oh, undoubtedly, from every aspect, I've always wanted to level that section, this half, right? There's no doubt in my mind that the cheapest option, and to get you the best job, was just to demolish it. And all the pontification and the messing, whether we should or shouldn't, or, you know, all the rowing with the insurers has brought us to where we are today. I mean, a lot of money was spent, terrific amount of money. I mean, the car park alone at the other side, and all of the boilers and the internal electronics, hundreds of thousands of pounds was spent.
And the gym was recently done up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nice thing. Is that still just sitting in there?
Just
as far as you know? I mean,
just sitting there. Just sitting there.
But there's no heating on, presumably, or anything?
Well, that I don't know at this moment in time, but I mean, that was a frightening thing the last time. We fought to get the hotel open as quickly as possible, but we needed to get the systems up and running before they die completely. You know yourself, all of the electronics all have backup batteries. Cut the power off to them, the batteries go down, they lose their programming, it becomes an even greater task to get them back up again. So I would imagine that everything is sort of ticking over in there.
Would you like to be involved again?
I've opened the Mount Murray the first time, and then again after the fire. Nothing would please me more than to open it for a third time. I mean, this has been a great part of my life, the building of the golf course and everything. I don't want a job now. I'm retired, I'm very happy, I'm very comfortable. But this is dear to my heart. And of course, this is Albert's legacy. Albert Dubey will be remembered for a derelict blot on the landscape if something doesn't happen soon. And that's sad in its own right.